Forgot to write the inequality sign. This one is y is greater than or equal to. All right, so y is greater than or equal to absolute value of 4 minus x. So what I like to do is go ahead and graph this. Now, but we notice we're doing 4 minus x. And usually when identifying the vertex, we got to have this as x minus h. So I'm going to rewrite this with the x in front of the 4. Well, to do that, I notice this is a negative x. So I got to keep that negative with the x. And that's a positive 4, so I'm going to write plus 4 at the end. Now, what this tells me, though, is I don't have x by itself. I have x being multiplied by a number. So I got to look at this expression, which is b. Because this is a very common mistake that students will come up with, is when they have the b, they'll automatically say, oh, well, they'll forget about the b. And they'll just say the vertex is h comma k. So they'll say, oh, x opposite of 4 means negative 4 is my h. So that means I'm going to shift the graph 4 units to the left. But whenever we have a b, any number that is being multiplied by our x, we have to take what's inside of our function, or inside of our absolute value, and set it equal to 0 to find the x coordinate of our vertex. So I take negative x plus 4 equals 0. This is going to give us our new h, our new x coordinate of our vertex. So I subtract 4. And I have negative x equals negative 4, divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1, x equals positive 4. So what that actually tells us is my new vertex is actually being shifted 4 units to the right. Because if I didn't have this negative x here, we would have 4 units to the left. But that negative x changes everything. That actually reflects the graph about the y-axis. If it was negative on the outside, just remember how that reflects over the x-axis? Well, when it's negative on the inside, that reflects over the y-axis. So my vertex is 4, 0. I'm not adding or subtracting anything outside, so therefore my k is 0. Now, my graph, before I start graphing, I want to make sure, is my graph going to be solid or dashed? Well, since this is greater than or equal to, it's going to be solid. All right? Anytime it's greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, you're going to have a solid graph. So now let's go and plot the vertex, which is at 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And besides that, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing else. The absolute value of my b is not larger or smaller than 1. So therefore, as far as any compression or stretching, it's not going to be applicable. So therefore, all I'm going to do is just follow the pattern of my parent graph from the vertex, which I have plotted there as 4, 1. I just go over 1, up 1, over 2, up 2. And I go do that same thing to the left-hand side. So over 1, up 1, over 2, up 2, over 1, up 1, over 2, up 2. And since it's solid, I go ahead and graph it. Now, the last thing I want to do is determine the shading. Am I going to be shading below or above my line? So to do that, I need to choose my point, which in this case, I'll use my vertex, or the origin at 0, 0. And I'm simply just going to plug 0 in for x and 0 in for y. So negative 0 is just 0. 0 plus 4 is 4. Absolute value of 4 is 4. 0 is greater than or equal to 4. Now, that is false. 0 is never greater than or equal to 4. So since it's false outside, that means all the points outside are false. And that means all the points on the inside are true. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is how you graph a linear or an absolute value inequality. Thanks.